live.
Welcome to another episode of Replay, everyone. I am Andrew Reiner. I hope you're having a great Friday because I'm not. But it's getting better because I have some really dear friends close to my heart here with me to take a look at Assassin's Creed 2.
Yay.
We have Leo Vader and his cat.
Hello. We're here. The tag team, the comedy duo.
Alex Stadnik.
I wish I had my cat. Chat, how the hell are ya?
And then smiling like you wouldn't believe, Mr. Joe Juba. Hello, sir.
That's me. Hello.
So we're going way back, way back, November 17, 2009, to what is arguably one of the best entries in the Assassin's Creed series, the long-running Assassin's Creed series.
Yeah.
This is Assassin's Creed 2. Joe Juba, you know this series better than anyone. What made this one stand out?
Really well.
You created the series, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think what made Assassin's Creed 2 really notable is that this is the game that took all of that potential from the first one and really sort of forged it into an identity for the series going forward. Mm-hmm. You know, like the first one it wasn't like an open world action stealth game, but there were things about the missions that were repetitive and just like the amount of activity and like things you could do in the world. And this is the one that seemed to really apply that sort of open world formula to it in a way that like kept you more engaged in the world and the characters and all of that stuff. It's sort of, is the groundwork for the series that we know today, I think.
Yeah, a lot of those hallmarks.
I appreciated having more of a focus on gadgets as well. Just like fun things to do in combat with gadgets versus just kind of switching between weapons, which you're doing in the first one.
Yeah.
Which
things
works.
Like throwing knives, which I think were in the first game, but this is,
perfected.
Yeah, well, you just sort of get a chance to experiment more with different tools. So that's a good way to think about it.
Yeah. Which also worked out having Da Vinci as one of your friends.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. It kind of fits, right? Yeah. One of the interesting things about this one is Assassin's Creed 2 is actually kind of a trilogy, right? It gave way to another Ezio is the main character, another Ezio-driven adventure called Brotherhood, and then right after that was Revelations. Brotherhood is still considered like the peak of Assassin's Creed, right? Even though it is very much tethered to Assassin's Creed 2, that is the game people cite usually as their favorite in the series, and I'm right there with them. Like, I think that one with what you did when you could call in assassins at your side,
that was
good.
So
cool. Yeah. And then Revelations, people say, is one of the worst.
One of the
so
worst.
You go from the best to one of the worst.
And I think one of the reasons people say that about Revelations isn't even necessarily that it does things badly as much as it really plays it safe. It takes the things Brotherhood did and was like, well, here's some more of that. Except we're going to add this bad tower defense mini game in there that you have to do.
Is bomb crafting not cool enough for you, Joe? Not innovative enough?
It didn't really do it for me. So when I was thinking about Resident Evil, Assassin's Creed recently, I went and looked up an old video on our site that made me laugh because for Revelations, Miller and I went back and we made this video when we were about to get the final data fragment in there because we were sure that it was going to unlock this cool thing that you could, some cool secret in the game.
Oh, yeah.
So we wanted to do it live to sort of let's get our live reaction to whatever whatever crazy thing happens. Literally nothing happens. You just get an achievement for it.
Hey man, that's pretty crazy.
So there's this 12-minute video on our site. You can find it if you want. It's under the completionist Assassin's Creed Revelations or something. It's just 12 minutes of us getting real pumped up for a total letdown.
That sounds like a really good video.
That's incredible. I need to go find that.
And there's Desmond. We're getting some snapshots of Desmond. He's in the present or near future.
Yeah.
And then he goes back through the memories of his ancestor to ancient old times, right? That's kind of his thing. He bounces around in people's DNA and lives their lives, which is kind of creepy if you think about it, because he he does everything in their lives.
Yeah.
You know, the romance, the killing,
Everything. Yeah.
all of it.
Huh.
Do you like Desmond as a character?
I did.
Yeah.
I was latched onto that future story. I wanted to see where it went. It had kind of a nice Lost vibe to it, you know, mysteries. Remember in the first game, that wall of all the hieroglyphs and symbols that people were trying to decipher?
Yeah.
I liked all that stuff. I thought all that stuff was really cool.
She's on my side.
The way they were playing with
She's gone now.
being in the Animus having an effect on you, like the way you got Eagle Vision at the end of the first game and gradually were able to do more of the things in real life that you could do in the Animus.
Yeah.
I thought that stuff was super compelling, and I don't know if I loved where it ended up, but it definitely kept me interested.
That's what I was gonna say. I loved his story and what they set up. I don't think they executed to the highest degree towards the end of it. It just got so convoluted.
Well, I think it kind of fell off when a certain actress decided she didn't want to be involved anymore, right?
Yeah.
And they just kind of killed her off, and the story kind of died with it.
Yeah.
Or
Ooh.
with
me,
her.
That's been the huge problem in my mind with the modern day storyline in this series is just its inconsistency. Like when it's introduced in Assassin's Creed 1, and then even in this sort of escape at the beginning of Assassin's Creed 2, you have this sense of intent. There's this idea that, well, they clearly know where this story is going. And as the series goes on through Brotherhood and Revelations and then into Assassin's Creed 3, you just get this feeling that they really lose the thread. And that even continues beyond the Ezio games too, where in Black Flag they introduced something called the Sage, and that seems like it's going to be important, but then it's not. And then they seem to offload important things into we're dealing with that in the comic books instead, So I think I've sort of lost faith in the mystery and in the sense that they actually know where it's going, but I still love the idea of a parallel present day story going on, and I really want them, I feel like the closest they've come to nailing it again is with Layla in Origins and Odyssey, and she's going to be in Valhalla too. So
Okay.
Yeah, and there wasn't just two stories going on. Sorry, Leo, just real quick. There was also the third, which happened way before that, ancient civilization that was actually more advanced than we are today, right? Where the apple and all that stuff came from, these artifacts that are the most powerful things in the world. And we saw that video. It might have been in this one of Adam and Eve, right? The kind of naked people running up the building, or was that in Brotherhood?
That was this one. You're kind of getting the pieces of that story, bit by bit.
Yeah, the truth. That's what they call it.
That was awesome. I thought that was a really cool part of this game.
Yeah.
I always wanted a game to be set back there, right? Just give me that civilization. Let me scurry up those sci-fi buildings.
Totally. Yeah.
Did you play? Did you play the Odyssey DLC, Reiner? The Atlantis DLC?
Not yet. I have it. I'm still going through Odyssey. I'm 100+ hours in Odyssey.
Fine set of lungs.
You just keep going. I recommend if you want more of that sort of first civilization vibe, you should dive into the Atlantis stuff.
I have the quest open. I can do it. I just haven't yet.
My buddy said he spent 80 hours in that DLC. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but he said it's huge.
That seems like a lot.
Yeah.
I would say, but each one of those episodes, it's certainly not a 2-hour thing. I'd say each one of those probably took me 10-ish hours, give or take. So
my friend's a liar, is what you're saying.
I'm just saying your friend might just play a little more leisurely than the rest of us.
True.
I think something the franchise has gotten better at is the division of those two storylines, telling more of the interesting ones who came before arc within the Animus without having to kind of take you out of it quite so much. I feel like no matter how interesting it is, if I'm having fun in the Animus, I don't want to be forced out for a story sequence that'll just turn me against it really quickly. That's what happened in those old games for me.
Sorry, I'm just looking at Desmond's runway walk here. I didn't even notice he ever had that.
Oh yeah, he's got a swaggy walk when you hold A.
He's showing off the new hoodies that will be at the Gap when they reopen.
Yeah. I saw someone in the chat ask, I apologize I didn't see your name anymore, but they asked what we're playing on. I'm playing on my Xbox One, but I'm playing the original 360 game, not the Ezio collection.
Over here.
Cool. This is the way it was.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so
Different hardware.
but yeah, there is a remastered, like a current gen remastered version that it's all 3 of the Ezio games.
What about the cameras?
So that's Lucy, Kristen Bell, actress.
Oh, no.
The Good Place. Brilliant show.
You're good.
The eyes were rolling a little bit there.
They're on to us now. We need to hurry.
She's, man, like, especially, I think she's the perfect example of how they
Careful.
sort of lose the thread in the modern day story stuff.
Yeah.
Which I don't want to get into too far into
need to get to
spoilers,
that
but
elevator on the
there's
other side
some
of the
stuff that
building.
goes on with her in
Follow my
Brotherhood
lead,
that
but
just
keep an
feels
eye out
like
for security.
really
I'd rather
abrupt
avoid
and
a fight.
strange.
Yeah, and Ubisoft's done a really good job of carrying these games forward, so you can get them, as Alex was just saying, you can get the Ezio collection on Xbox One or PS4 or PC if you want to play through them, and I highly recommend you do. These games are fantastic.
Yeah.
Yes, we're in the present day, near future here right now, but we will be going back to late 1400s Italy,
Yeah.
which is just so cool to experience. And that's really where they kind of start. I felt Ubi started to nail kind of the past, and they've only gotten better,
You're only gonna
Yeah.
hurt
right, with
yourself.
historical landmarks and stuff like that as they've moved forward.
I think that you really start to hit a level of like virtual tourism at that point, right?
Yeah.
Like Assassin's Creed 1 looked really good, but like there's, I guess, sort of like ancient Middle East isn't exactly what people think of when they think of you know, like the splendor of nature and architecture and all of that stuff. Whereas, I mean, yeah, dealing with Florence in the Renaissance is like, oh, yeah, there's this feels like just like a compelling place.
Yeah.
That
I
you
wish we
want
could go back to a setting like that.
Yeah.
Personally.
Whooping
What
up
do they
on
need
'em.
with all of them?
Yeah, that's part of what lends itself to me and this being one of my favorite in the series is because the setting is so good. And the other, like, Black Flag was really cool. I like the other ones, but having been to Italy and kind of experienced that, it was like that was kind of cool for me.
So speaking of Black Flag, we should probably mention a little bit too. Like one of the reasons we're doing this today is
I
because
thought this card would work.
Ubisoft
Must be on a
announced
separate system.
Assassin's
I
Creed
don't have
Valhalla
code.
this week.
Wait.
Yes,
they
And
did.
The team that's making that is the same team that made Black Flag. That's the studio is Ubisoft Montreal.
And Black Flag, that was one that really turned the corner too in evolving and kind of expanding the scope of the series by adding sailing and more of a world to explore than just a city,
It's
right?
always something.
Or
What
multiple
was that in the
cities.
animals?
They really
Subject
expanded
16?
on the scope, and oh my God, Odyssey, the latest entry,
I think we've been wrong all
is
along.
gargantuan.
That's why we
Yeah.
need
One of
to
the
help.
biggest
huge.
game worlds I've
Then
ever
again,
been
the
a part of.
Templars,
Yeah.
They're only part of the
crazy.
problem.
I actually
I'll
I
explain when we get
I had mixed feelings about Black Flag when it launched. In some ways, like I still loved the game experience, but that was the first game in this series that felt like a real departure. Like I said, you know, like Assassin's Creed 2 and then Brotherhood and then Revelations really, well, and then even AC3 really built on, like they felt iterative. They like built on foundations. And Assassin's Creed Black Flag suddenly is just like, oh yeah, we're doing just something very different now. Now you're in a boat and now you're a pirate and you don't really have the ideology of an assassin
Yeah.
as you're playing that game, right? And so I think part of the thing that left me a little cold with Black Flag when it launched is the idea that even though this is a good game, I don't know that this is a good Assassin's Creed game.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
And I felt the same way about Origins. But then after a little time, I sort of look back on it now, and this series just like adapts and changes so much that like you just can't even say what it means to be a quote Assassin's Creed game anymore.
I
So you
appreciate
just-
it giving you something new before you know you want it, right? Like not super overstaying its welcome in one particular formula before mixing it up.
Yeah, and that's something that where it used to bother me as a huge fan of this series that it wasn't what I wanted it to be in some ways. I think over the years I've gotten a lot more excited
Thanks
about
for that.
embracing
It's great.
new directions that
Shoving
they
the
can take
trunk,
it.
bouncing around.
So
Yeah.
this way.
Yeah, I think with Black Flag for me, like I love how it added
There was a
sailing
reason
and all
for the
that
escape,
exploration to the series of
We
Assassin's
need
Creed.
your help.
But I also just wanted more pirate stuff, right? Like that kind of vibe. Like I wanted them to go a little bit more. I don't want to say Disney Pirates of the Caribbean, but more fantastical pirate stuff, Krakens and stuff like that. Should have kept like both the series running, like keep Black Flag as a new IP and then keep Assassin's Creed going at the same time.
Or just
So
give it the,
I think it succeeded in two ways for me.
yeah, just give it the Brotherhood Revelations treatment. Give it, a sequel or
you've
two.
seen me in action. I'm no good at
Sure.
this, and even if I
It seems like
it'd take
Valhalla
months,
might
years.
be that sort of
No,
intersection that you're
not with
looking
the
for again,
animals.
Reiner, with
Not with the bleeding effect.
like a heavy sort
I'm
of
just
Norse
one guy.
Sometimes
myth
that's
kind
all
of
you need.
component to
So
it,
that's
but
why you
your
found me.
Vikings and,
My
and
ancestor.
longships
What was his
and
name?
Mhm.
Ezio?
yeah,
If
I
you
don't
can
know.
follow
I'm
in his
excited for it.
footsteps, you'll learn everything.
It
you
was a
need
longer
just
current
by
day
playing.
thing
Years
than I
of
thought it
training.
was.
Yeah, I
Usually I thought they were pretty quick, but
You brought
Yeah.
me out of Abstergo
I think
and
about the
brought me
intro to
here
this
just to
game, and
make
I
me
think
an
about
assassin.
young Ezio
There's more
Yeah.
to it
running
than
around the
that,
town.
but
I
it'll have to wait.
don't think about janky
Trust
Kristen
me.
Bell.
Okay?
We got
I've been
baby
revisiting
Ezio.
Right.
Assassin's
I'm
Creed
in.
3
Tell me what you
to
need.
Oh.
to see if I
Really?
hated or if I just
You're
hated it
sure?
because it was
I
different than what
thought
I
you'd be
expected
happy
at the
about
time.
this.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I like me more than I
just a little
remembered, but
surprised.
I also have
I
not
spent the
started
whole
it
ride
yet.
over
It's
here
been like
figuring
3
out how I
extended
was gonna
sittings, and I've
convince you to
not
do
gotten into
this.
the actual
Say,
game. It's still just
You're
like
still in
3
the-
sequences of
Bastards put
prelude.
me
Yeah.
I'm ready.
That game is
Willing.
crazy for that.
You're still in the Hatham stuff.
I'm in the young Connor stuff now.
Okay.
Oh,
Part 4 of the prologue.
yeah.
That was wild, man. When you didn't see the title card for 10 hours or something like that? It's like, okay. We should have edited this a little bit.
7 years. Can you
Yeah, I
believe
believe Alex Hutchinson has been on the record as saying, yeah, I regret making it that long. Like if I could go back, I would maybe mix it around a little bit.
Who are you?
I'm sorry, where are my manners?
I was so
I'm
excited
Sean
for that setting
Hastings.
too. I liked
This is
3
Rebecca Crane.
fine,
Yeah,
but
nice
it
to meet you,
definitely
Jeff.
like
Right, well, it's been lovely chatting, but
capped
if you
my
don't
like
mind, Desmond,
hype
let's
levels
get
of
straight to
AC, and
work.
then
Precious.
it's been slowly
so
bringing me
these
back
days.
with Origins and
We've got
Odyssey.
everything set up and ready, Lucy.
That's why I think I missed on Black Flag because I played it a little bit, but I didn't
A parting
like
gift from
get super
Abstergo.
into it because Joe, I'm with you. Like it
Memory
wasn't
core.
exactly Assassin's
This
Creed
is
how I
amazing.
wanted it or
With
remembered
their
it. So
data, they
I
figured
kind of
it
fell
all out
off, but
faster.
like
I'll get to
I'm
work on
excited
making the
for
code.
Valhalla, so I wanna get through Odyssey. That game is such a beast, like you guys talked about. So I'm excited to actually dive in more.
who's that character we just met? We can't hear audio on our end.
That's Rebecca.
Okay.
And
Is she the
Sean.
computer expert? Is that what the headphones were telling us?
Hey, Desmond.
Yes.
What's up?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Wondering what your role is in all this.
I take care of baby.
But like,
My job to keep
yeah.
her up and running.
Baby?
it seems like they're going to be very important
Actually, I
characters, and they're
prefer
kind of
Candace
referenced here and there as the
2.0
series goes on, but
twice
that like
as awesome
they
as
just kind of
anything
fizzle
you'll
out.
find at Abstergo.
Mhm.
The
Whatever's
Templars
going
might
on
have
with
deeper
them.
pockets than us, but they've got no
JJ Garcia on
no
YouTube asks a really
passion,
good
no
question,
competitive
and one
edge.
I
That's why.
think you guys
even
can
with all
answer.
their
He said, for
resources,
someone who hasn't played any of
anything
these
they can do,
games
I can
and who's
do
not
better.
able to play
That's
them
for two.
all, which games in the
Anyway,
series would you
take a
recommend to
seat
start
when you're
with?
ready, and we can
Especially
get
with
started.
Valhalla coming,
I
do
just
you
need
guys
to
have a
make
recommendation
More adjustments.
other than like all of them?
Boy. I mean, I guess it depends on what your goal is. Like, if you want to prepare yourself for Valhalla specifically,
Hey, listen.
Mm.
just
I
wanted
would
to say thank
say
you.
Black Flag and Odyssey.
I'm sorry.
If you want,
Yeah, you know, before.
if you want sort of just a
Everything
general
absurd.
takeaway
It was
of what
just-
people like about the
I
series,
wasn't ready.
It's okay.
I guess
No.
probably
through
Brotherhood
all
and
that.
Odyssey.
Knowing
Yeah.
that the Templars still exist, what they're planning.
Yeah, Odyssey's
Done is
kind of
done.
become my forever
You're
game.
here
I never
now,
want to
and that's
finish
what
it.
matters.
I just keep picking away at it, and I love it so much. But now that Valhalla was announced, I was like, I got to step this up now. Like,
Yeah.
I got to get this done because that will be my new forever game.
Right.
I was actually kind of hoping. So the last little bit of Odyssey DLC came out in the last
What's all this
story
stuff
bit was
for?
like last August.
stuff,
That's when Atlantis
Desmond. Oh,
finished,
this
and then they
stuff is
did the
nothing
sort of
special, really.
the
This
history
stuff is
mode
just
or whatever
stuff that
in
keeps
the
our
fall.
entire operation from falling
But
apart,
I was kind of
really.
hoping there would be
Requires a great deal
another.
of concentration to keep it all
There would be
moving,
more
so you'll
content for
forgive
that
me
game
if I don't
yet,
have time
because
to
there was
blame
still
you to
essentially another year
Sean's in
before the
charge of
new
maintaining
Assassin's
our
Creed is
knowledge
coming out.
archives. It's like a digital
I thought they could
library.
maybe
He'll be riding
fill
shotgun
fill
with
that
me while
time
you're
with
in the
something
Endless.
else, but
So if
Yeah.
you come across anything of note,
it's not like there's
So-
not enough to do in
Races,
Odyssey. There was a
events,
ton to
etc.
do in
he'll
Odyssey.
create database entries you can
I wanted
got-
to
for
do more.
additional information.
I got an email
Yeah, it's
from
not just
one of our
databases,
viewers
though.
or
I also
readers
provide
of
tactical
Game
support
Informer,
for the other
and they said that
assassins.
Ubisoft actually
Once they're out
announced
there, actually
Assassin's
doing
Creed
stuff,
Valhalla
risking their
within the
lives,
Division
little things
2
like
on the
that.
day the Division 2 launched. there are posters for the JFK Center that just say Valhalla, and then it's a character holding one of the Assassin's Creed apples.
Oh.
And it says it's an opera of epic scale or whatever. And those are just like around town.
Huh.
Interesting.
And there it was, right in front of our faces, way back from last spring.
That's the thing, though, is like you can point to it and say they revealed it, but really what this series does is
You're taking on their skills too.
it plants all kinds of different seeds. So like planting a seed for the next game being Valhalla was probably one of 10 different references for potential futures that they've planted in, you know, whether it's Assassin's Creed or other Ubisoft games too.
I want to say in one of these Assassin's Creed games, it might be Brotherhood, they have a chamber of all these ancient assassins, like statues of these assassins in there. And it's pointing to all the different eras. And there was like, we might have replayed that last year. There was like 3 of them that they hadn't revealed yet. I'm guessing one of those is probably Viking or Samurai. You know, like there's some ones that are very identifiable in look, but right there they kind of laid out their deck of cards, right? Like the hand they had, at least what they were thinking.
Yeah, or if nothing else, I think what they're good at is keeping doorways open for themselves, right? Like, I don't know that they have it planned that far in advance as much as it's like, well, here are 10 of the most interesting historical eras that we'd like to visit. Let's plant some seeds there.
Yeah, Cody Bratt on YouTube reminds us of the time when Ubisoft leaked their own game in Watch Dogs 2. That was like a mission in Watch Dogs 2 where you hack into actual Ubisoft. You went to an Ubisoft building and hacked and got like a game trailer. But I think that game never came out.
Yeah, they canceled that one, I think. That was the rocket, right?
Right, yeah, the space one. But that's such a fun idea.
I like that.
For a hacker game.
If you guys remember where I have to
the new God of
this.
War. The new God of War kind of teases some new stuff.
Yeah, that's a good sequence.
Like, I want to say it's an elevator ride, or
there we go.
Right at the end, they just show off a bunch of stuff.
Alex, this room is the open world of the game. And you can explore and get collectible.
Of course. Deep breath.
Rome.
Right.
Beautiful.
Serious question.
Sean.
Would you guys go back like this if the Animus actually existed and let you go back through the memories of your ancestors? Would you do it? I know it sounds like a slam dunk, but you got to think like you could go back and find out like, whoa, I am from a really racist line, or you know, like there are things you might not want to know.
I mean, I think if you trace any of our histories back far enough, you're going to find a lot of racists.
No.
Fair.
Or not that far, depending on your family.
I would like to go into the Animus just like one generation back. Just so like when my parents would give me crap for grades in high school, I could like see in high school and be like, you were goofing off. I saw you.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say, Leo, that you wanted to go back and be present for your own conception.
That'd be cool. You
Someone
know,
should
isn't
make
that
a
a
movie
look we all
about
want? Beautiful. Oh,
yeah,
here
you
we
could
are.
just have all these dates, Leo, like May 15th, 1979. Out back
Late.
smoking a joint.
Yeah.
You know, like, all these things.
Right.
Yeah, there's our guy.
There he is.
Look how young he is. So as the games go on, as from 2 to Brotherhood to Revelations, you actually see Ezio age, which is very cool.
Yeah, I like that.
That is cool.
And one thing that I'm glad that they sort of have done away with is the concept of that you have to be tied to one of your ancestors, because it got real weird that like Ezio and Desmond and Altair all just like look identical, basically.
Talking about you. I'm surprised to see you here.
We've all seen enough TV and movies. We know that's how it works. You're basically the same guy.
I'm also glad they got rid of the white hoodies eventually. They went with brown hoodies and gray hoodies.
They're changing it up. Yeah.
Like, if I was a guard in any one of these places, it's like, is there an assassin here? Do you see a white hoodie? Oh, there he is.
Yeah,
There she is.
Yeah, if you want to stay hidden, having an easily identifiable uniform is not really the way to go.
Well, and it's easier
Right
to get
now, he blends.
it's easier to get blood out of a brown uniform instead of the white.
No, it looks cool. It looks great, and it's good for merchandising, but that's about it.
Yobo on YouTube says, remember when we all thought this was leading to a Desmond future setting game?
Yeah.
Peppered Farms remembers. Yeah, I totally thought that was coming. Just one where there was no Animus and you were Desmond in
That would be. I'd
some
still
modern city.
like that setting. Not Desmond, but you know, I think a modern Assassin's Creed game could be cool.
So what would it be? It'd be like kind of a hybrid of Watch Dogs and Assassin's Creed. You know, like kind of tech based, but you have the powers of your ancestors, or
I mean, you see bits of it in Assassin's Creed 3. I think the idea would just be that it's that whole game rather than just little segments, right?
Yeah.
Which
But
I think
they do have other franchises for that for sure. They can focus on historical fiction with this one.
I mean, I think there was actually a time when that may have been in the cards. I'm trying to remember exactly where this comes from, but I think before it was probably pre-release for Assassin's Creed, even before it officially came out, is that there was the idea of the game at one point was maybe even going to be just a trilogy that culminated in that Desmond stuff. But then, like, it just got so huge. Like, the first one was so popular, and then the second one was so popular that, like, at some point, I think Ubisoft took the reins and just said, no, we can't just terminate this in a third game and have it be over.
Yeah.
Well, the original game director, Patrice Desolé, yeah, people were talking in the chat about him earlier because he left after 2, right?
He was on for part of Brotherhood.
Okay, the good part.
I mean, I don't know the degree of his involvement in that one, but I know it wasn't just like, well, AC2 and now I'm done. I think he was there for a little while between, bridging the gap.
And he was there for a lot of the planning. I remember before Assassin's Creed was even announced, we had Jade Redmond in our office, a couple, maybe Raymond, sorry, Patrice and a couple other people walking us through like their grand plans where they had like 4 or 5 eras already picked out, and maybe those plans changed, but it seems like Ubisoft and this team knew like this was going to be the next big thing, and they were really setting it up to be that.
Yeah.
Maybe it's those meetings that I was remembering of it being like a trilogy. But
yeah, it could have been.
Yeah, and that's not even necessarily. I don't want to imply that Ubisoft has somehow like sacrificed the integrity of what this, the vision for this or anything. I mean, just projects change.
Don't mind me. I'm just looting your body, real quick. Hey, you doing okay, guy?
It's crazy. They had this thing annualized for the longest time. Like these games are monsters. Obviously, different dev teams. A lot of bleed between them, sharing tools, all that stuff. But for these games to be annualized, that was crazy, and that was just up until it was in this generation, right, where they made the switch. We even got 2 Assassin's Creed games on the same day.
I'm trying to
crazy.
think. There was so Rogue and Unity launched on the same day. Rogue, which was a last gen exclusive, and Unity, which was new gen. And then, so I think the first time it took a year off was between Syndicate and Origins. And then it took another year off between Odyssey and Valhalla.
Correct. Yep.
If you can call it a year off, like they added a game's worth of content to Odyssey.
Yeah.
Right.
DLC. No new installment. I mean, I honestly do think like that franchise fatigue was really settling in for a lot of people. The idea, like I looked forward to the ritual. I liked every fall playing a new Assassin's Creed game. But that one year that 2 of them launched, I was just like, I can't do 2. I can't do 2 at once.
Get him!
That was the bubble bursting a bit, yeah.
Come here. You better not lose this guy.
Oh, I got him. Nope. Damn it.
Oh my gosh. How's it feel outside of falling off a box?
It's definitely getting the combat controls down is interesting. But so far so good. This is my first time
What
actually.
entry do you guys think had the best parkour feeling to it?
Syndicate.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because you could skip it with
that's where you had the grapple thing, right?
And that's what I loved about it. Is I mean, I guess it's not straight up like I like that it still had the climbing, but that it wasn't as laborious as it was in previous ones. You could just zip up the building if you could find the right spot. Syndicate is my personal favorite entry in this series. So.
When I'm trying to zip around the city, I guess I like Odyssey just because they made it so effortless, right? Like no matter what you do, it seems like you're climbing up or climbing down. You don't really have to think about it. But then just from a gameplay design of like scaling a building, just going right up it is just kind of boring. You know, it's just kind of like, well, let me just zip up it. That's what they did in Syndicate. Yeah. But I like the earlier ones where they kind of had you look at the architecture a little bit and see like the handholds and stuff like that. Yeah. Some of the pyramids, they did that in Origins, where you had to kind of figure out how to get up it. But yeah, I think it's gotten a little too easy in Odyssey.
Yeah. I think that's one of the things. Is it Brotherhood? Maybe it's AC2 also, where they have like basically giant cathedrals and stuff that serve as almost like Uncharted style platforming challenges. I really like those in this series too.
It's interesting, the chat is pretty split between Syndicate and Unity for that one. Because Unity you had climb up and climb down on like B and A.
That's right, yeah.
Which I loved. I wanted more precise control to make it a little more active versus just like holding a button and...
I'm right there with you. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying too. It's just, I like it where it's a bit more, has a bit more gameplay or thinking to it than just automatically doing it.
Yeah, and like having to press a button to grab a ledge if you're about to miss it. Like that stuff's really fun.
And also that makes me want to chime in here real quick and say that like Unity was a huge disaster at launch and there's no getting around that, but like that game is good now. Like they fixed what was wrong with that game. Unity is a very good Assassin's Creed game that if that was one that you skipped, I highly recommend going back to.
100% agreed. And it was the only time they did co-op. And now that it's working, that co-op is really fun. It works great. Like having one person tanking with like a giant two-handed axe and one person like using a rifle. The sheer amount of stuff in that game is crazy. And it makes sense that they botched the launch from being over-ambitious. But again, it is in a good place now.
Good.
Sorry, we got the title card 34 minutes in.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Enough of that. We really should.
Oh, it's better than AC3.
I was going to say not 3, but close. I liked the...
Officer Problem says they stripped out the mobile app integration to Unity. I forgot all about that. Yeah, you had to like open chests on a mobile app. That was weak.
Oh, that's right.
Forgot about that.
Second screen.
And it was cool stuff. It was like they were like cosmetic costumes for the other assassins.
Yeah.
It's like, so if you wanted to look like Ezio or Edward Kenway or something,
here we go.
That's good stuff.
We're syncing.
Oh yeah.
So this is a staple that has not disappeared from the series, and I actually love it. And I really like how it's used in Odyssey, of revealing the land around you.
Yeah.
You get kind of a flyby, and then you get to jump off and hopefully hit some hay, or then you get a game over, which is also really fun because it's hilarious.
When you force it a little
Leo
bit too
hates
much.
syncing.
I was about to not bring that up, Joe.
I'm not going to let it die. I think it's a ridiculous thing to not love about
You don't
this.
like syncing, huh?
I just got tired of it in like Assassin's Creed 2. It just takes a long time.
I don't know how you can get tired of that swell of the music, the dramatic like camera swing. It's awesome. Even though a game makes you do it 100 times, I like it every 100 of those times.
You get to see a bird too.
Leo, do you like
I think
good
especially in the
things?
new games where the world is just so much more open. It's like I'm swirling around like, oh yeah, still dirt. Over here too. That's cool.
I guess I like how they use it in the new one to kind of show you where you've been, where you haven't, and then, kind of reveal that fog of war in a significant way now. Like what is actually in that city that's important with other assassins or, like political leaders, stuff like that. I think that's done really well.
Right.
But I get it. Like, I will see 3 of those on my map and be like, because I feel like that's the first thing I need to do when I go new places.
Yeah.
But only for a minute.
A minute is all I need.
Oh, up in the window.
Oh, wait, that came out wrong.
What a great setting.
I didn't catch that. That's funny.
I don't
Yeah,
think
one
we're
of the
gonna
main
get to a
writers on this,
single-
Corey May.
Oh yeah.
Ciao.
I don't think we're gonna get to a single assassination here, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably not.
We did beat up some people on a bridge, and
Yeah.
that's kind of a victory on its own.
Playing a dating sim now.
Hey,
That's
yeah.
good.
See, this is what I'm talking about. Desmond is in this moment.
Oh.
He's in the Animus with his eyes
So that would
closed.
be his great grandma.
Oh, yikes. Yeah, I didn't
No,
think
I didn't put that together.
No, I didn't know that's what you were
I
going
what you're
with.
getting at.
Yeah.
Interesting.
so Desmond. Well, he's not related to that woman though. You find
Desmond
you-
did.
Okay, but you know what I'm saying. Like there is the potential of that's a family member, and
Oh, yeah.
you're also using the tools of said family member.
Yeah, I think what game is it in? Is it AC3? Desmond is definitely there when like Altair and his wife
Oh yeah, yeah,
making babies.
yeah.
Really no need for violence.
True.
Yeah,
Man.
you don't want to go there.
In something like Assassin's Creed 3, in the prologue, it's been saying like 5 months later and then picking up whatever new season. Is Desmond
She needed some
playing
help.
those 5 months in the Animus, or does it jump ahead for him too?
That's a good
That wasn't
question.
clear to me.
I'm more
I think the idea is that it jumps ahead for him too. That you like,
Big moments only.
well, not big moments only, but the conceit in the world is that
Oh.
they want to skip ahead in his memory anyway. Like they don't want to play every moment. They want to get to important stuff. But in order to get to important stuff, you have to play the stuff before it to like to synchronize and whatever.
I mean, it's science.
So if you hit a part of the character's lifespan that you can fast forward, I think that they try to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a dumb stretch of an in-universe explanation when really they just want to do 5 months later.
Yeah, that's totally fine. Yeah, I'm just curious.
I'm not trying to explain it away here. Is what I'm saying.
You're right.
Just looking at this running on the rooftops, it's so cool and so visionary for games, especially at the time. You know, it's built on the shoulders of Prince of Persia, right? Like without Prince of Persia, we probably don't have any Assassin's Creed games.
Yeah.
But just opening it up like this and going so historical, you gotta love it. I'm surprised we didn't get more stuff like this, you know, like historical stuff. But maybe people thought Ubi just had it cornered and they were going year after year. Like it would be dangerous to really dive into that.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think there's also the fact that it's just like open like games of this scope
Yeah.
aren't cheap. I mean, like what? I guess I don't know the exact number, but usually Assassin's Creed games take about 500 people to make. Like that's not.
500
what-
teams of 500
Yeah,
people.
how many that's not an exaggeration. How many studios are working on Valhalla? They announced that.
Yeah, they did. It's UB Montreal and then 12 other studios
Oh my
offering. And then one.
Are we one of those
external
studios? Are we
partnership.
making it?
You know, maybe. I'm not sure. I'll have to check in. I don't know if that was in the NDA I signed or not.
We might be now. You should have read that.
Yeah, we reserve the right to Bitcoin mine and Joe Juba's brain.
Can you guys make some rock textures for us? Thanks. 12 other studios. I can't even comprehend what roles they would have. Cinematics. You know, I remember when Grand Theft Auto 5 was being made, or maybe it was 4, but Rockstar San Diego was doing like civilians, like citizens, right? Like that was their thing, was just making people for the world and AI.
Legal concerns now confronting the Gonfalonieri. It shall be held sometime after the execution.
Don't mind me.
No, I'm just soaking it in. It
Just-
just looks beautiful still.
So
I miss settings like these for sure.
one thing I kind of miss about these older games is the disguise elements, where like I get that it's kind of silly that you're just, hey, I'm gonna pay some prostitutes some money and I'm gonna walk in a group of them and I'm gonna get into some restricted area. Like I get that that's a little silly, but I kind of liked that sense of, you know, infiltration beyond just I'm gonna, you know, climb in and sneak around.
Yeah.
Right.
I
You
also,
got to use your imagination a little bit. Like when he sits on a bench, all of a sudden he's hidden. It's like,
Yeah, I
Okay,
love that.
that doesn't make much sense.
I
but
always thought that was
it's
funny.
cool.
Ah, Ezio, ben trovato.
Especially when the enemy was right
Funny.
behind you.
Come sempre.
It was like, who has seen him? Who's done this? And you're just on the bench,
I'll
like,
see that he receives it.
he just walks away.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. I'm sitting.
You know what else I really miss is Berserk darts.
I'll let my father know.
Yep.
Those are just the best. Those are the things that you shoot at enemies and then they just go nuts and
Those are
attack
nice.
other nearby enemies, and you can just get them to clear out their own encampment, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sweet.
Classic. I liked sleep darts.
Yeah.
That, at least the
very
way they
good.
worked in 4 was like you'd hit them with a sleep dart and they'd fall over, but you had like 20 seconds to get to them and knock them out for real, or else they'd wake up. So it was
Yeah.
like seeing an enemy on a tall tower, hitting them with a sleep dart, and then having to make like this run across the field to get up there and finish them off before they
Yeah.
woke up.
Yeah.
Super
so
satisfying.
good. Yeah.
I think no matter what the series, I think just one of my favorite mechanics in games, period, is sleep, like tranquilizers.
Yep.
Whether it's like Assassin's Creed or Metal Gear, I love that. That is so good.
Also like air shotguns. That's my favorite class of weapon. Non-lethal air shotguns that just blast people 10 feet back, and like in Metal Gear 5 or
Yeah.
Watch Dogs 2.
Now, Joe,
Yeah.
would you like sleeping and tranquilizing if you couldn't move corpses? Or does it lose all novelty?
Oh yeah, that's a good point. I guess I do like the element of dinking around that it involves. Not necessarily moving the bodies, but like I like how when you put someone to sleep, then like another guard can come and see them and kick them awake, but then you immediately put both of those guards to sleep. And then a third guard comes up and just sees two dudes sleeping in front of a tent, and then is just like, instead of raising the alarm right away, he's just like, oh, better kick these guys awake. But of course, before he kicks them awake, did he get sleep darted? That's the stuff I like.
The dink factor was strong for sure.
Yeah,
To you
yeah.
as well, young man. I trust you delivered the message.
Yeah, posing corpses that are asleep is one of my favorite things. Or I guess a corpse is not asleep, but posing bodies
Not anticipate
is always fun.
Yeah, it can be a real art.
Or throwing them off cliffs, you name it.
Dragging them into lakes, you know.
Oh, Odyssey's kick, like that special ability in Odyssey where you can kick people like 30 feet off of cliff. It doesn't
real
get much better than that.
The this
I
is
know,
Sparta
I will-
kick.
I keep like
Yeah.
looking back at these old games and missing so much about them and the way they were built, and like not having to worry about damage amounts made it easier to kind of be creative with how you were dealing with stuff. But then I'll remember an equal amount of things from Odyssey that I'm like, oh yeah, I guess I couldn't really live without that kick anymore. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
fair.
It's
For
definitely
that devastating shot with the bow.
yeah. And as much as I like being back, I can feel
Hey, Claudia.
how the
How are you?
locomotion has
You shouldn't
evolved.
keep things from
You know, it is kind of finicky when you're on the rooftops,
Wow.
figuring out what he needs to.
He's been
The computer is figuring out like where he needs to move and stuff like that. So I like the puzzle, more the puzzle aspect of the free running, but
Peace.
um,
You're better
this
off
definitely
without
is aged
loved him.
okay. It's not bad, but
You only thought you did.
it is fun
He
being
should
up on those
suffer
rooftops.
for what he's done.
With the Assassin's Creed 3 remaster, they changed and modernized some gameplay mechanics. Did they do that with the Ezio trilogy as well?
No,
so.
no, those were just graphical tweaks.
Crap.
Yeah, one thing Ubi's gotten much better at is the HUD, how much information is displayed on screen at once. Odyssey, it can be very clean. You can have nothing if you want it that way. Whereas, as you can see here in Assassin's Creed 2, they put everything up there.
Yeah.
Even our faces for some
Yeah,
reason.
look at
I don't know
those
why we're there.
Yeah, I wish everything would steal the Red Dead Redemption 2 mini-map controls.
I wonder. So, I think it's interesting that Ezio is the only protagonist to have multiple games in this series.
Yeah, I guess
And-
Altair, kind of. He's in Revelations.
Well, yeah, he appears, but he's not like the star.
No,
I
he's
don't
in
know.
it for what, 30 minutes?
Yeah,
Where you got the apple?
Yeah, you have
Oh,
some.
so cool.
Don't mind me,
Brief
gents.
sequence.
Everything's fine. All right. Well, I guess we're fighting.
But like, I don't know. I guess I know you don't want to burn people out on a setting or a character, But I feel like for a few of these games, like I would have gladly played another game as Evie and Jacob Fry.
Yeah.
I gladly would have played another game as Cassandra or Alexios.
Yeah.
Like,
It's beautiful.
Nothing
Yeah, I don't
but the
know.
best for you.
Yeah.
Amore.
Well, I guess that gives them options moving forward, right? Eventually, they'll go everywhere in the world, and then
Father said I could do much
maybe
better
we'll
without Tori.
retread old ground a little bit.
It's,
Different story.
Is there a
I
place?
feel like they'll never do it again.
Is there
Go
a
ahead, Alex. Sorry.
is there a place that they haven't been yet that you guys want?
Oh, Duccio.
Japan.
Yeah, I wonder with Ghost of Tsushima where they'll end up going next.
Ezio, my friend.
Ooh.
I also would love like 1930s America or somewhere super recent like that, but still interesting and historical.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, I would love a roaring 20s style
Your sister shouldn't be so
Assassin's
stingy with
Creed.
her VIP too.
Do a little crossover with like LA Noir, maybe.
And now I'm going to break your
We've been waiting for it.
Yeah, give the people what they want.
I said this on the podcast this week, but while I would totally love an Assassin's Creed set in Japan, I think one thing that they're smart about with this series is not going places that are just really well traveled in games.
Yeah.
Like, how many great like Viking games are there versus all of these, like, so many games set in the sort of like living out that sort of samurai fantasy, right?
Yeah.
Right. So, Assassin's Creed, Wisconsin. Let's do it.
We dare you, Ubisoft. Do it. You won't do it.
Rock and Roll says Western, which that's pretty well traveled, but
Yeah.
I would like to see the comparison of what a AAA Ubisoft Western would be compared to Rockstar's. I'm guessing you don't want to compete against Rockstar, though, in any shape or form. Like, their production values
Yeah.
and budgets are ridiculous.
Because you'd always be compared to Red Dead at that point.
Yep. Although, a cowboy in a white hoodie, you've never seen that before.
You have not.
Ezio.
Ciao.
What are you doing out here, Petruccio? You should be in bed.
I want those feathers.
Who's
What
this?
for?
Oh God,
One-
scary ass eyes. Oh my
One
God.
of the Ramones.
Yes.
Right? Isn't that Ezio's brother or
Drugged
something?
out though.
stop looking at us like that.
Oh my God.
Oh, so this is another change that they've made in recent AC games that I really like, is the getting rid of the sort of specifically instanced missions.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just a big world and you do stuff in it, rather than the like begin mission and then loading a special version of the world that you do the mission in. And,
They also got rid of those dreaded follow missions.
Oh, I hated those.
following, and the eavesdropping ones in Black Flag were just real.
But you could rate them afterwards.
That's right.
I gave
Tell us how we're doing. Even we don't know.
the hilarious thing about that mechanic is that I don't know that I ever rated a mission that I liked. It was always just the missions I hated. So, like, I can imagine the reason they stopped doing that is that it's just not useful. Like, you're just getting a bunch of 1 stars because if you're ever rating something, you're just rating it because you're mad.
Yeah.
True of anything.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say.
Look at them go.
Can you tackle anyone?
I can barrel into him.
Don't
Really
make
give him the
excuses.
people's elbow.
Tackle. It doesn't let you hit B to tackle, huh?
Not that I was seeing, but I can try it on some unsuspecting civilians again.
Okay, good, yeah.
Remember the part of the pitch of this game for Assassin's Creed 1 was your face buttons would correlate to that part of your body.
Yeah, the puppeteer concept,
Yeah.
they called
Yeah.
it.
Right, and they sure dropped that after a while.
What if it was executed like Octodad, just unplayable?
I think it was smart. Like, it was innovative. That was a very clever approach, I think, for Assassin's Creed 1.
Grazie, brother.
But I think when you start to realize what resonates with people about
In time.
a kind of game,
Yeah.
You realize, like, okay, you can maybe walk that back a little bit rather than stay committed to some puppeteering concept.
No.
Because wasn't Eagle Vision on Y because it was your head that was doing it?
Yep.
But then it became like, just realistically, you want many more things, many more useful things on your face buttons before you want to use Eagle Vision, I feel like.
Yeah.
Buongiorno, Ezio.
I think it just got to a level of they realized that
Sto bene.
what they
And
want to
you?
put their effort into and the ways to make you feel
from
present
last
in the
night?
world are a lot more external
Of
than
course not.
the specific
Anyway,
way you
I
are
have an
controlling the
errand for us.
movement of
I'd like you
someone's
to
head
join.
or feet. You know?
Right.
Come, it's not far from
But
here.
maybe if they just went harder with it, like if it was a QWOP style thing,
Exactly.
going to reach out with your right arm, you press B.
Yeah.
That could have been cool.
Quap RPG, please.
I know about your fight with Vieri.
Uh-oh. I think we got a dreaded follow
I was
mission.
gonna say, as we brought it up,
Per piacere. Let's not
At least
play
this one,
game.
I think this is just a walk and talk. Those still exist.
I'm sure he's having a hard time dealing with the accusations
And you can never keep
against his
pace.
father.
No.
Oh my god.
Patsy's many
And I try
things,
so hard to
and
be
none
like
of them
right at
good.
their side.
But even I never
make it
suspected he'd be
realistic.
capable of
But then
murder.
you're
always
either
out
ahead or
walking.
way behind.
It's like you're playing Final Fantasy VII Remake, huh, Reiner?
hey,
Yes.
He
Oh
laughed.
god, that rooftop
He's the
scene.
one with the evidence.
Oh god.
Games need to figure that out, man.
Yeah.
You've nothing to do.
It's so, no one can make this sequence look good. You know?
That's an unfortunate state of affairs. But it will
Well, I
pass.
think, was it Red Dead? That it's not
Yes.
walking and talking, but Red Dead lets you like just hold a button to kind of match speed with the
Yes.
person you're
That's
with
nice.
on your horse. That
You
like
can-
that's a smart way to do it.
You
have
can
to do
kind
that.
of do it horseback and Odyssey in this, but the AI is so bad that you're running people over on the street. And
Yeah.
it's unintentionally hilarious.
Here we are.
And I think there's some of these that you could hold it down to match, but you're never like right next to them. They just need to lock it in and take control out of your hands. Let you turn the camera to see what's going on.
Hello,
Because
Leonardo.
nothing's happening on that walk.
Oh,
This is my
Leonardo.
son, Ezio.
There he is.
Leo.
You make me a cell phone?
Let me go and fetch the paintings. I'll be right
I'm
back.
from the
Leo, is
future.
your-
I know what they are.
Leo, is your
He's
full name
very
Leonardo?
talented.
No, if only.
Self-expression is
Man.
I don't know why I just don't say yes to people. They're never gonna double check.
Yeah,
You should
no one would be
find
like,
out.
you know what? Actually, can I see your birth certificate on that, please?
Right.
Besides vaginas.
Hey, was that your favorite turtle, Leo?
If I had to
Back to
pick.
your house then.
Yeah.
Si, si.
Yeah.
It's easy. Yeah.
Ezio,
It's just kind of
help
built in.
Leonardo, will
Not a
you?
lot of Leos for me to, connect with. The character from Mark Wahlberg's character from the Planet of the Apes remake, the Tim Burton version, was named Leo. That was important to me as a kid.
So Ezio,
There was a cartoon called Leo the Lion when I
He's
was a
been
kid.
working
Oh.
for his father.
That was a reference I heard all the time and never got.
for now.
DiCaprio, he's okay.
Yep. Oscar winner.
Yeah.
Truth be
Yeah.
told, it's been difficult for me to settle. Painting is nice.
That's about
but I
it.
often feel like my work lacks
Really
about it.
Leonidas? Does that count?
Does that make
You think
sense?
the
I'd rather
you think the
consider
Spartans
more
called him Leo?
Yep.
When they weren't fighting?
I've had some
architecture,
some
perhaps.
coworkers call me Leonidas as an affectionate nickname. I think affectionate. Or they want me to die like he did.
Are you sure they weren't saying Leonardus or something like that?
Yeah. Well, they would always hit me in the nards after, so I guess that would make more sense.
Nice work delivering the goods.
Thank you for your
Just
Pro
throw that
gamer, man.
down.
Pro gamer for a reason.
Don't let me keep you from your other duties.
Don't let any other stream
So
you've
I just
watched
To
me
meet
on
you, Ezio.
convince
Hope
you
our paths
otherwise.
cross again.
I thought it was smart to put Leonardo in this game and have him be like, hey, he gives you a bunch of gadgets. But after a while, in the series, it starts to become a little implausible that your main character is like constantly becoming friends with the geniuses of their age.
They're just right around the corner at all times. Yeah, best buds.
Yeah, in Assassin's Creed 3, they were talking about how Connor was part of a very important bloodline, and I guess maybe the people who came before are focused on just the most important bloodline of all time. Like there was one who just happened to do all these important things with all of these famous people.
Yeah.
Well, that's Assassin's Creed 3 is where they went bonkers. Like, Connor was riding horseback with Ben Revere.
Yeah.
I think he pretty much won the war by himself.
Yeah,
he was there when they signed the Declaration of Independence. Like, he's just hanging in that room for some reason.
He basically like taught George Washington how to be a good president.
That's right.
Yeah, and he did. It was basically Connor single-handedly won the Battle of Bunker Hill. I think.
Yeah. Just moving from turret to turret.
Just ridiculous.
But he was blending, so they never noticed him and wrote him down.
Did you guys like the
And
tree
again,
movement in that?
any one of those things might be a good touch, but to have it just be all the time,
Yep,
that is just ridiculous.
It's too much.
Yeah. It was comedic.
for sure.
And also because Connor just didn't feel like he deserved it. Like he wasn't the he wasn't the same kind of like charismatic hero that Ezio is, right?
Right.
Here, over here.
So he just feels like he's more like stumbling into importance than anything else.
I have a delivery from
Giovanni Alatore.
I would tell
Yeah, I
you
can see
that
that.
heroes come in all shapes and sizes, Joe.
Why would I be followed?
Yeah, they absolutely do, but they do heroic things.
It's true.
Who's moving?
Not just bumble their
What's
way
going on
into
here?
Bunker
Wait,
Hill.
get back.
Get lucky.
Explain yourself.
Was Assassin's Creed 3 the one that just had the same tree over and over and over again?
There was a lot of that tree. in AC3,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Did they-
tree?
Did they fix that with the updates? Did they change trees?
It was like the
was
two-pronged
like one of the
that
ones
you
you-
cut through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just like everywhere in the world.
Yeah.
I haven't noticed it in the remaster.
Well, maybe they changed it.
Maybe
Maybe
they added
new
trees.
trees. Put that
New
on the
trees.
back of the box.
Let's see.
I've been meaning to go back and check out that remaster actually.
There's your tackle, Joe.
Yes.
Hey, you got a problem there, guy? Hey, come here. Come here.
He
Hurrah!
does have a problem. Yeah.
Oh, excuse me, ma'am. You didn't see anything. All right, we're having
That's a
fun
good
here
feature.
now. Yeah.
Yeah, they should make a vampire game with that. Just take them down and.
Vampire sound effect.
Now I'm just getting my frustrations out.
You guys watching What We Do in the Shadows yet?
No,
Not the new season.
I love the movie though.
Oh. The new season is off to a roaring start. One of my favorite episodes yet is, I mean, you can't beat the council from season 1, but yeah, there's an episode that just had me rolling. Episode 2, I'll say that's what it is.
Is the
Yeah.
sorry?
No, go ahead.
Oh, does the show reach the heights of the movie? Like, is it as
Oh, yeah.
funny? Oh, okay.
Yes. Even funnier. There's the council, the best they've had. Oh, the pigeons! I forgot about these dumb things.
I mean, in a lot of ways, Alex, the show the movie feels like a long pilot for the show,
Okay.
and like they happen within the same world. It's the same creative team behind it, so it's not like Buffy the Vampire Slayer the movie and Buffy the Vampire Slayer the show.
Okay.
They go hand in hand.
Yeah, it's a linked thing.
Okay. I'm finishing shows like I haven't before, so I was curious about that.
Yeah, it's on Hulu, so you better watch it
Yeah.
by next Friday.
Patriot yet, Alex?
Okay. No, I haven't done Patriot yet. That's also on my list. I have Patriot. I was thinking about What We Were Doing in the Shadows.
What we were doing in the shadows.
What we were doing, yeah.
Patriot, what's that on?
Amazon Prime. I'm
Okay,
rewatching it.
I'll
My
check that out
girlfriend.
tonight. Actually,
Please do.
per
So
your
good.
request, I'm going to check it out.
Hell yeah.
I've been watching Tales from the Loop on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Reiner, you will love that show.
What's it about?
It's a
Other than a loop.
It's a sci-fi show that's set in this weird, like, grimy high-tech version of like the 80s that it reminds me a little bit of Black Mirror, except without it being so like deliberately dark all the time. So it's like a cross between like Twilight Zone and Black Mirror with a kind of kids on bikes, Stranger Things kind of twist to it. I don't know. It's very cool.
It's
I gotta
interesting.
check
Kids
this
on
out.
bikes is such a sharp descriptor of a genre.
And we
I know
instantly
exactly
knew what you were talking
when you
about.
say
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
That might be going to like it has elements of that, but it's not as far into that as something like Stranger Things, you know.
Right.
They're on scooters.
I got to
not
check it out.
bikes.
Sounds cool. You guys gave me something to do.
It's based on these paintings. You can look up I forget the artist's name, but really evocative paintings of this world. And there's even a role playing setting that's come out of it too.
Looks like you're settling in here, Alex.
I'm getting the counter down. What are you looking at? You want to get
Yeah, quite
tackled?
the crowd.
Huh? You want to get tackled?
Do it.
Huh? You want to get tackled, guy?
Let's go of me.
Nah, you can't.
He does.
Come here. No, I'm just grabbing folks now. Come here. I'm gonna tackle someone.
So when
Please.
people talk about things that Brotherhood did well, I think one of them is the whole concept of like taking AC2's combat and adding in just this ridiculous chain capacity for it.
Yes.
So you can just chain kill after kill after kill.
Oh, it felt so good though.
Yeah, because you can just be surrounded by like 10 guys, and then you're just like, oh, that's not a problem. I can take them out.
I'm so sorry.
It's really fun.
What happened?
But that's a full hour. I think we could call it there.
Oh yeah.
We could play this all day.
Yeah. And maybe not get an assassination. Didn't realize.
I was
it took
hoping
that
we'd get
long.
our iconic look, but
Yeah.
that might be 8 hours in, given how fast these games move.
Yeah.
But mother.
So. But.
Thank you,
fun.
Leo, for joining us. Yeah,
Of course.
thank
I
you,
like
Joe.
this franchise.
Yeah.
And if you haven't played them yet out there, you have to. You absolutely have to. And Alex, again, thanks for playing, man. I know there's a lot of pressure on you to run the stream and play the games, but you're doing a bang-up job.
Thank you, sir. I
And
appreciate
we'll be
it.
back in 7 more days with another episode. So please tell your friends about it. Like, share, subscribe, whatever that song and dance is.
Yeah.
Do it. And we'll see you soon. Thanks again for the support. Bye, everyone.
Bye.